Welcome to our press conference for Rise. I'm Kelly Carter. I'm senior entertainment reporter for ESPN's Andscape. And today I have the pleasure to introduce you to our panelists and guests for this incredible movie. I'm going to start back here with screenwriter Arash Amel. Welcome. Next to him, Akin Omotoso, director. Our distinguished cast, Dayo Okeniyi, who plays Charles, Yetide Badaki, who plays Veronika, and brothers Ral Agada, did I get that right? All right, cool. And Uche, who play respectfully, Thanasis and Giannis. And of course, we're thrilled to have the Antetokounmpo, did I say that right? Close? All right, good. Family here with us and Veronika. So we have Giannis, we have Thanasis, we have Veronika, we have Alex, who last season played for the Ontario Raptors, 905 of the NBA G League, and Kostas, who plays for this local team, LA Lakers. So welcome, everyone. Thank you guys for doing this today. I want to start here with the family. Why was now the right time to tell this story and in this way? Giannis, let's start with you.
First of all, Disney approached us around 2018, giving us the opportunity to share our story with the world. And, we came together as a family. We decided that it's something that we wanted to do. I think our story is very inspiring. A lot of people go and learn things about us that they've never heard before. And we really enjoy the process. So, when we came together, we decided, this is the right time to do it because we knew that eventually we were going to have to do it. We're going to, our story is such an amazing story, where we started from and where we are right now. And everybody talks about us, about me, Thanasis, Kostas, and Alex, and Francis, but they always leave out our parents, my dad and my mom. So, we knew that one day we're going to tell them, who the real heroes of this story is, of this journey is. So, when we came together in 2018 and we sat down as a family, as I said, we told ourselves that this is the right time to, share to the world why we are here, who gave us the opportunity to sit in these chairs that we're sitting, today, which is my parents.
Oh, I love hearing that. Veronika, you just heard your son say that you and Charles are the real heroes of this story. Talk to me about that. What does that do for you, especially now that we're going to be able to get this insider view about raising this family?
Yeah, first of all, thank you all for having us today. I'm just super proud of my kids, of my children. Raising them up but now we're very proud being here today to tell our story.
Yeah. It's a family of champions, so that doesn't happen every day. Kudos. Let's go back to director and writer. Where did you guys start, and what made you guys want to tell this story? Because quite frankly, it has everything I think that a Hollywood story kind of loves, all the dynamics. But where did you guys start with bringing this story to life?
When I first heard the story, it was very clear that we had an incredibly modern tale of triumph over adversity. Yeah. And what made it modern is that it's a universal story. It's a universal story of family. It's a story of faith. And at the core of it, it's a story about a very modern world where immigration and sort of cultural identity actually is sort of at the very root of it. And this ability for this wonderfully generous family to allow us into their lives and to be able to tell that story was really the genesis of it.
I love that. Yourself?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for having us. Great to be here. So anyone who knows me knows I'm a basketball fanatic and love the NBA and very fascinated, especially with African players in the NBA. So in 2013, when Giannis was drafted, every year I'll look at the draft and I'll pick out who the African players drafted.
Yeah.
And when Giannis was drafted, I remember reading up his story, and I was like, if ever I was to make a film about basketball and life, it'll be this gentleman's story. So that's 2013, and here we are now. So I've always loved the story. I love the story of perseverance, the story of overcoming, and just to be able to be telling the story with this amazing group, and as Arash already says, this generous family that allowed us in. Yeah, I mean, it's great.
Absolutely. For those watching the presser, I should have mentioned, please drop your questions in the Q&A function, not in the chat function, and then we'll get to your questions shortly too. Let's kick it over to this beautiful cast. Where were you guys in your careers when you found out that this story was happening, and what made you want to sign up and be part of it?
Again, thank you guys so much for having us. This is truly an honor to be here. It's kind of surreal that we're actually here right now, because I'm still in Athens in my mind. But for me, the first time I heard about this project, I'm a bit of a film nerd all around, just creatively and from the business side of things. So I was definitely watching the Disney investor presentation, which was like in 2019 or 2020 during the pandemic, because they did a presentation of it. They filmed it that year. So I was like, cool, I'll watch this. And I remember Sean Bailey, who's in here somewhere, comes on stage and he talks about the slate of movies that they're getting ready to produce that year, and The Greek Freak, which it was called at the time, now it's Rise, was one of the movies that he talked about. Yeah. And I was like, ooh, basketball movie about Greek Nigerians. There got to be something in here for me. So I'm not kidding. My manager is gonna walk in any second now, and as soon as the presentation, Sean got done with his presentation, I texted her and I was like, let's see what's going on with this project. I can wear stilts. I'll be one of the brothers in my mind, and I'll be like, they could CGI my long legs or something. But just to wrap it up, it's crazy when the email actually finally came to get the chance to audition for the project and go up for it. It came in. I was already prepared to call my agent and say, I can't play Giannis, y'all. Like, he's 5. You know what I'm saying? He's 8 foot whatever and built like a Greek god. I can't do it. And they're like, no. They are not even remotely considering you. They're interested in whether you could play his father. I said, hey, I guess I'm in that part of my career now. So that's to answer your question. Yeah, I'm the dad now. Yeah, I was humbled real quick.
I love it.
I mean, I'm not quite sure how to follow that one. No, it's the thing for me that resonated immediately was the idea of the ability of the dream to shine a light in really dark times. And you ask where I was in my career. This was, in getting to read for this, it was right in the middle of the pandemic. It had been a while since I had been on a set. I wasn't sure if I would get on a set again. And the thing about that time was that everything had to be incredibly intentional. You literally, not even hyperbole, literally when you walk out the door, you're making a decision on whether it's worth your life. Right. And I remember reading the script, and it was one of those where the agency sent it. And you always, do that quick, read a couple of pages, and then we'll, when we have time, we'll get to the rest of it. And I couldn't put it down. Ooh. And it was one of those scripts that I think it was 2, 3 a.m. when I was done, sobbing. And
You read it all in one day?
I had to. Yeah. I couldn't put it down. Arash, thanks for that. I got no sleep that night. But I immediately sent that email to my agents, and I said, I need to make this. And, we're sitting here in what some would call the city of dreams, with a company that unabashedly celebrates dreams, with a group of people. I mean, I'm going to cut this short because we need to hear the story from Ral and Uche. Yeah. But dreamers. And we get to make this piece of filmmaking that is an inspiring hour for family by an inspired family. And that drew me from the very beginning.
Oh, I love that. Thank you for sharing all of that. And how about the brothers who are playing brothers? Where were you guys? And also, I have to ask, since you're portraying people who are very, very skilled at the game, did you guys play before you got these roles? All right. So you know a little something coming in. So tell me about, what made you guys want to be a part of this project and where you guys started with helping to bring people that we know in real life, but for this screen.
It's a weird story, honestly. It's crazy. I was just laying in bed one day, and I was scrolling on Instagram, and I see a screenshot of a tweet that Giannis put out saying that Disney's making a movie about his life and his family's life, and they're looking for someone to play him and his brothers. So I just clicked on the link, and I just sent a video just talking about myself, and then I sent in a self-tape. A few months later, I got a call back. And for me, I was never an actor prior to this, so this was very weird to me. So when it said call back with the director of a movie, in my mind, I'm like, yo, that's crazy. But I did that callback, and did another callback, and eventually they told me I got the part, which is absolutely incredible. And then a couple weeks later, they asked me if I had any siblings. And I said I had an older brother, and then...
So my little brother, Uche, calls me up one day. I mean, at this point, I know he's in the movie, and everybody's just so happy that he's in it. I'm so proud of him.
Yeah.
So when he calls me up saying, hey, you want to try out for the older brother? I'm like, what? That doesn't make any sense.
You pulled a Russell Westbrook. You said, what?
I just didn't think that's how things worked. Like, cast a brother with...
Yeah.
Anyways, it's insane.
Yeah.
So I was like, of course, I'll try out. Why not? So I sent in the tape, and honestly, I felt like that tape was awful. Like, I tried really hard, but I was like, I'm just going to do my best and send it in. And they decided that they like it. I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
So then they say, oh, we need some basketball clips from you. I'm like, okay, well, I know how to do that.
Yeah.
So I go on the court, I put in some clips, and then they asked me to do a chemistry read with my brother. I'm like, all right, because he is my brother. It shouldn't be hard to act like that.
Yeah.
So we send it in, and then right after, Randy Hillard tells me, all right, so you and your brother are going to go to Greece and shoot this movie all summer. It was insane.
Yeah.
Shocking. I couldn't believe it.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Back down to the first row, to the family, because I know you guys have screened the film. Was there a particular scene or that was difficult or challenging for you to watch, or maybe a scene that really just made you smile and feel good because this was a part of your story that hadn't been shared yet with the public? This is up for anyone. Alex, Thanasis, Veronika.
I'll go. Obviously, going to watch the movie was you were excited, but at the same time, you're going to get emotional. You know your history. Your journey, but once you see it in the screen now, it's a whole different case. Yeah. For me, I knew what I had been through in my life and what my brothers had been through in their life, but just when the movie started, I saw my mom and my dad. I think they were in Turkey. We can share too much, but sorry, I'm giving them spoilers. But just seeing the fear in their eyes, and then it takes you back, and you're like, oh wow, before we were even here, before we were even born, they were scared. They were on the 25, 26, 27, they were scared. They were just like us.
Yeah.
I'm 27 right now with 2 kids. And then I'm not going to share the whole scene, and they overcome the difficulty in that scene, but then seeing them walking together in the sunset, that was for me, amazing. Obviously because our dad's not here no more, but just seeing that there was a story. There was a journey before we were even here, that there were just 2 of them.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out things, trying to figure out where they're gonna go, what the next move gonna be. It was tough for me. But after that, they had us, and the rest was history.
Life was great after that. Anyone else want to weigh in?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah, to add to that, it's a scene in the movie that we're all outside and we're basically selling stuff. Yeah. And the police show up basically. and we had to pack all the stuff and run. And you know, like you see, like Thanasis grab Alex, like he picks him up, and like they run, and like my mom grabs me or something like that. And that, like, I remember that like happening a couple of times. You know, that we had to like just dash real quick out of somewhere, and it just like it touched me because it just shows like we would do anything for each other. Like I literally remember maybe Thanasis picking me up to like run away from something or something like that. So that scene really touched me.
I would say that just seeing the whole thing kind of being acted out, you know, obviously we knew a lot of like the story behind it. Like I knew what my brother like Kostas went through, when Giannis Thanasis went through, and a lot of the times I was there, but just seeing the stuff that my mom and my dad went through, just seeing it acted out rather than just hearing it and hearing the stories about it, I think it was very touching for us, and it was a new thing, so I think that's what probably touched me the most.
Love that. I'm not going to leave you out, Thanasis. Oh, Veronika, please, yes.
Yeah, when I watched the movie, I was so excited. At the same time, I was emotional. And I remember the way I used to put my kids together, my family together, and prayed. I remember that moment. I remember the moment that I'm in fear. I remember that moment. I still remember, again, it put me into tears that the father of my husband is not no more. Then I cried, but it was emotional. At the same time, that was a real story to tell. Yeah. And I remember when we all gathered together in fears and praying to God.
Lovely, thank you. Thanasis?
I think they covered everything, but I'll say that for me, you know how you tell your kids like, oh man, well, we came from not, like, you gotta understand how we grew up and all these things, and that you actually get to see it on the screen. You know, it's something unbelievable, and I know it's my story and everything, but then it reminded me of so many things, and I would wish like everybody has this feeling after the movie, like just feel like, you know, blessed for what you have, feel motivated, you know, for what you could become and what you can achieve in life. Like it's powerful, you know.
Yeah.
So that's me.
Thank you guys for all sharing that. To the surprise of no one, the questions are coming in. So we're going to switch over to some audience questions. This first one comes from Ashley Saunders from With Ashley and Company, and this is for Arash. This film is so much more than a basketball movie. It really dives into the family story. What is important to you to keep, was it important, I'm sorry, to keep the focus on the family rather than the sport?
For me, the movie is a story of family first, and a sports movie second. And actually part of the challenge was how to maintain that family story and not allow the sports aspect to overwhelm it. I think it's often, you know, the easy way would be, okay, this is, you know, the classical structure of a sports movie. But really, for me, when I write something, it has to be extremely personal. And the story of family was what spoke to me right at the beginning when I first came to it. I'm Iranian, who was born in Wales, who lived in Iran, who grew up in England, and then made America my home. My parents were immigrants in the 80s to England from Iran, and that sense of family keeping us together against all odds, against everything, and that sense of being displaced and being far away from your roots, but yet building new roots, and also that intergenerational, the relationship between Charles and Vera, and also the relationship of the four brothers towards their parents, but also towards the new identity that they were forging and a new tomorrow that they were coming towards. That for me was the movie. And the sports was really the tool.
Yeah.
It was the opportunity. It was the method by which, you can, pardon the pun, you can rise up.
Yeah.
And so it was always a family movie first and a sports movie second for me.
Family movie with a little bit of basketball in it.
Perfectly.
This next question comes from Felix Carabiala, hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, from the Metro in Puerto Rico. It's for Miss Veronika. As a mother, you not only had to deal with political issues, but also with raising your children and doing your best to keep your family together, protecting them, and supporting their dreams at all costs. Was there something that you would have liked to be included in the film but wasn't possible?
Yes. Like raising my children, having a chance to go to school. I was not opportune to do that. That was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
Thank you. Thank you for that. This next question comes from journalist Ryan J., and this is for Giannis. Did you give any advice to the actors about portraying you? Did you teach them some basketball skills? Like, what did you do? What did you do?
First of all, they were really nice.
Yeah.
I was very surprised they could actually hoop. But no, I didn't give them no advice. When I was watching the movie, and I was watching myself, basically.
Yeah.
I was like, no, this guy studied me. There's no way, And then I asked Akin, and he told me they showed him clips, the way I use my hands, how I put my hands, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, there's so many things that goes into the movie. But at the end of the day, he did an unbelievable job. Everybody that played our family, they did an unbelievable job. We feel like they're our family now.
Yeah.
They're a part of us. So yeah.
I love hearing that. Thank you. This next question is from Jane Seitzer from Whiskey and Sunshine, and it's for the other brothers in the room. And she wants to know, how much input did you guys have in playing these real life characters? You just heard Giannis say he was like, dang, he studied me. He got my moves and my nuances. But how much input did you guys have into building these real people for this film?
Well, obviously they're real people, so you're gonna have to study them, how the way they speak, their mannerisms, how they play, but also their characters. So you have to read the script, really try and connect with that. I'm playing Thanasis, the character, not Thanasis, the man that's sitting in front of me.
Yeah.
So, there's a difference, and I feel like a lot of our brotherly aspect is in the film. I feel like he's playing my brother, and he is my brother. So I feel like the most natural way to do that is just be brothers. Yeah.
I'd say also just that was very helpful, honestly, for him to be my brother. It was very easy. I remember the first day on set, we walked onto a basketball court, and that was the very first scene we shot together. And that was very, very it made it easy, because it's again, this is my brother, so I don't have to act like, oh, this random guy is my brother, you know what I mean? So, after reading the script and just doing the research, it all just became subconscious, and with that, also with the help from our directors and our, our co-stars, because this is our first time ever doing this, so, we just asked questions. We were just like a sponge on set and really just tried to, make it our own.
I love that. And it also probably was helpful that your first scene that you shot was something that you guys probably naturally have done together so many times over the years. This next question comes from Tiana Sermons from Kids First, and this is for Thanasis. Your family has a saying, if one of us makes it, we all make it. What does that saying mean to you, and how does it show up in the film?
It's so crazy is that I saw it in the film some point, and I was kind of surprised. I was like, man, to the last detail or stuff you said in the past, or you keep saying to yourself, but you don't say out loud to people. But to me, it means unity. It means support. It means you have I feel like I have an army behind me. When I have my family with me, so it's. it's hard to explain into words because it's ingrained in my DNA. Like I've never felt any other way. I've never felt alone in my life, never. So it's a wonderful feeling, and it means a lot. Now to this aspect, I think if I could explain in the simple way, would be guys just support each other, support not only your family, the people you love, people you want to see move forward, and I think like the way I am where I am today, or where any of us is at today, I don't think we would ever done anything even remotely close if we weren't together. So that's basically it.
That's so beautiful. Thank you.
If one person in the family scores, the whole family scores.
Exactly. Keep that mic close by because this next question is for the two of you.
Okay.
For Akin and Arash, this comes from journalist Amy Fulcher. The film started with the working title of Greek Freak, which is Giannis's nickname, but how did you guys settle on the name Rise for the film?
Who is it?
Yeah, over to Giannis.
When they came to us, it's a movie about my family. It's not a movie about me. And as Thanasis said, when one scores, everybody scores. When one person makes it, everybody makes it. We had the same mentality, and we're always going to have the same mentality. How can we share that joy? Because, this journey is not about me. It's about every single person in here. It's about the actors that played us behind us. It's about Arash and Akin. Like, it's about every single person. And I felt like we felt that the right name for this movie had a lot of options, but the right name for this movie would be Rise and not Greek Freak. And I think we decided. I think Kostas came with. You said Rise first, right? Yeah. And we were like, yeah, that's it. Like we started from nothing, and together, we rise as a family, and we're gonna keep on rising together. So I think it's a very fitting name.
Love that. This next question comes from journalist Adrian Ruiz. And this is for Veronika, Alex, and Kostas. What is the overall message that you want people to take away from this film? Like when they get up and leave their couches, if they're watching on Disney Plus, what is the thing that you want them to take away and walk away from having?
I think just that anything is possible. That if you have a dream or goals, you should just chase it. Then literally like a family of immigrants in Greece from Nigeria in a small neighborhood in Sepolia made it to having 3 brothers being having a championship in the NBA and having a younger brother going in the G League, playing in the G League too. So just anything's possible really if you just put your mind to it.
Yeah.
I would say just from the film and us as a family in general, the one thing that every single one of us goes by, and it started from my mom, is just to be selfless. To be able to put others before you, and I feel like our whole brotherhood is based on that. Like you guys, sometimes I watch him play, and I get more nervous than if I was playing. And it's vice versa. So, like Thanasis says, we all score together. So I feel like that's the main part that you should take away from this film.
I love that. Miss Veronika, how about yourself? Because look, if you're not writing a book yet, you have to.
So I will like just people to be faithful, be humble, be disciplined, and have faith in anything you do. And never lose hope in what you are doing. And keep doing what you do. Yeah.
Love that. Thank you.
Can I add one more thing?
Please.
You asked me earlier what was my favorite scene from the movie. And I think my mom kind of talked about it a little bit. It was a scene that she was praying, right? And I remember, I go back and I remember my mom and my dad and everybody, like we would just sit down and pray, You know, sometimes we wake up before we went to school, we just pray. You know, just have faith. You know, like have hope. Like things gonna be okay. You know, we gonna figure out the way. We're gonna be happy. We're gonna make it as a family. And once I saw that in the movie, like it took me like 1 or 2 weeks to like realize. I went back to my mom and I was like, Mom, like you never lost hope. Like that's insane. I would have lost hope in the like 2 years into Greece. I'm like, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, man, like you kept raising us and like, you know, put us in school and like having us get educated and like trusting us out there, you know, with you coming out there and helping you and sell stuff and, you know, join a team and play basketball and do what we love, you know, but you never lost hope throughout it all until we actually made it.
Yeah.
You know, like she was like, I remember it was a couple Sundays, she would like wake up early in the morning, you know, iron our clothes, wash our clothes, iron our clothes, put our shoes, get us up, wash our face. You know, we wouldn't even put lotion in our body. She like put lotion in our body, get us ready and stuff. And like, it was like, where we going? She was like, we're going to church.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, we're going to church. Like, there's so many things. You know, I wasn't thinking. I was just following what my parents told me, what my mom told me. But now I'm like, we're going to church. Like, we got to go out there and try to figure out the way to, like, survive. Like, you know, but she was like, no, we're going to church. You know, and, you know, God's going to help us figure out the way to survive. And from the beginning, the earliest I could remember until now, it hasn't changed.
Yeah.
You know, and that's for me as a parent right now, I'm like, that's the number one thing you can ever ask for from a parent, to never like lose hope and trust on their kids and of life, never give up. So I hope like a lot of parents around the world, now I'm a parent, to see that, you know, because your parents see the future for you sometimes, you know, and I love my mom for that. I love my dad for that, and I love my whole family for that, you know, was able through everything that we went through, we were able to, you know, break through.
I love that. Yeah, Miss Veronika, you got to write that instruction manual real quick. Last question before we wrap goes back to you, Akin, and this is from journalist Emilio Contreras. What are your final reflections after shooting this movie and learning about the history of this family, especially those things that Giannis just talked about too?
Well, I think everyone here has said how, I mean, Yetide said it and family has said it about dreamers. And what you have to remember, like I said, you know, I've always followed this family.
Yeah.
And by chance, like Dayo, you know, I picked up a magazine, and in the magazine, it said Disney was making a movie about their life. And I said to my agent, whatever you do, you got to get me in that room so that I tell Disney how I would make this film. Because I've dreamt about this film for 6 years, as Arash has mentioned, in terms of relevance, in terms of immigration, and just in terms of inspiration. And to talk about inspiration is, I kept that magazine by my bedside. So every morning I wake up, I look at that magazine. Before I went to sleep, I'll look at that magazine. And I said, I'm not taking this magazine away till I know they have another director. And I'm just so thankful, not only to the family, but to Arash for writing a beautiful script, the folks from Disney, Sean, Vanessa, Chaz, Bernie Goldman, this wonderful cast. The story is amazing. And what a privilege to be one of the people chosen to tell this story.
Absolutely. Beautiful way to end. Thank you guys so much for really living this life and then creating this piece of art for all of us to see. Really beautiful and inspiring stories. So thank you all so much.
Thank you.
And continued success.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.